now have before us, and let us make welcome the new Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Environment, Conservation, Climate Change, Disaster Management. PS, congratulations on your appointment. He used to be our Director of Meteorology. Now I take over as Permanent Secretary now. Let's go through your budget. This is part of the our inquiry proceedings law 2026 Appropriation Bill 2025. And let's make welcome yourself to the hearing today. Let me just go through normal law budget. I think you have made some significant increase. You've been able to convince him finance, give you, or even just maintain him no more the budget for this year. But the decrease from this year to next year. We would want to hear your thoughts on this. And just generally no more, it seems that most part long development budget, not necessarily development budget, but the non-appropriated budget, yeah, it's a good sizable money coming in there, mostly low climate change related kind of activity. Even some of the development budget provision in other ministries, like for instance, provincial government. I think there was one yesterday, I think that we dealt with. Which one? Yeah, I forgot. Oh, fisheries. Fisheries have quite a big size of budget support here. Outside of the appropriation, where we feature into something related to climate resilience, yeah? Make strengthening climate resilience program. What are your views on this? That it seems to be taken away from your platform to another government agencies. What does this mean about, you know, your responsibility or your functional responsibility? I hope it is not a distrust on the capacity that you have, possibly, or maybe the implementation modalities that you have. So they have shifted it away, you know, from yours, or possibly you have some responsibility in the oversight, governance, blowing water, implementation arrangement. Can we start off with a comment like that first time? Yeah? Because, you know, the budget itself, I mean, others will raise some issues on it. Why is it that we have that kind of a situation along the budgetary allocation here, both in terms of development, in the appropriation, and the non-appropriated here? There seems to be a great interest now on climate-related approach, along donor support to certain development funding spending in the country. So what will be your reaction to that, PS, please? And you can have the chance to introduce your team as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Before I respond to initial comments and questions, probably with your indulgence, just let me first of all thank the committee for allowing Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, Disaster Management and Meteorology, you know, to present and discuss our 2026 Appropriation Bill. Let me also take this opportunity to also introduce my team. Lugosem team B na umifalo ya. Team A belum umifalo hem lo COP lo Brazil at the climate change meeting, including Honorable Minister. But anyway, let me start with my left. On my left is our Chief Operation Officer from Disaster Management Office. And on my right, I have the Deputy Secretary Corporate. Next to him is our Financial Controller. And we also have at the end Director for Environment and Conservation. And at the back, Dr. Edward Maru, Deputy Director for Meteorology. And we have Nancy from our National Project Coordination Unit within the Ministry, and also our Chief Admin Officer. As usual, let me just recap on our mandate. The Ministry we operate under the vision a safe, sustainable, and resilient environment for Solomon Islands, and to achieve this, the Ministry is mandated to provide an enabling environment that safeguards the well-being and socio-economic development of our nation through ensuring the sustainable use and management of natural resources, delivering of essential meteorological and climate services, reducing risk and impacts of climate change and hazards, leading disaster preparedness, response and recovery efforts. And of course, we have the Ministry's core policy and planning and service delivery functions. Chair, allow me to highlight our main concern with the 2026 development budget allocation. As you have mentioned, in our development budget, there is a significant drop from 9.2 in 2025 to around 5 million in 2026. Our only development project, which is the Environment House, the Ministry's new office building, and we record them zero implementation tool 2025. There are internal delays, but something where I am also relate to the management, the consultant that was supposed to manage the project. So the consultant has advised that we are supposed to advise that 9.8 million allocation, which was last year, insufficient for attracting contractors. Yeah? So because the project was estimated at 60 million, and so in 2026 the Ministry we submitted a bid for around 15 million, but unfortunately, as you can see from the development budget, we only receiving 5 million. On the recurrent, our 2025 allocation, we increased a little bit. That increase is mainly due to increase in payroll. We anticipate to have additional posts especially in the provinces. So basically, that increase in recurrent is mainly due to payroll increase. But having said that, despite these constraints, the Ministry remains committed to expanding and strengthening its services amongst the many functions and the priorities, I would like to mention some of the following for 2026. In the 2026, we will continue to enhance our provincial presence, particularly for the Environment and Conservation Division. We acknowledge the addition of new provincial environment positions for Makira and Choiso, and thank the Ministry of Public Service and the Ministry of Finance for this support. On the climate change, the recent launch of our National Adaptation Plan provides a clear roadmap for resilience, and we will be process for its implementation. We also anticipate the National Carbon Trading Policy in 2026. In disaster management space, we recently commissioned the Provincial Operations Center in Temotu and also Choiso. Our priorities for 2026 includes the establishment of an operations center and the warehouse in Auki and Honiara, and also Tulagi if funds sought from somewhere. With regards to meteorology, the focus is also on strengthening the provincial capability. Within the project, there's a project that is implemented through UNDP and the ministry that is supporting Met Service to establish a new office building in Taro, in Tulagi, revitalize the one in Kirikire, and also build another office in Lata. So those are some of the priorities for 2026, Chair. As the National Safeguards Ministry entrusted with wide-ranging responsibilities for community-level interventions, the Ministry continues to operate on less than 1% of the national budget. As this committee is aware, much of the shortfall in domestic allocation is supplemented by bilateral and multilateral support under our non-appropriated budget, which we have detailed submission to the committee. With these few remarks, I would like to give it back to the committee, and my team is here to respond to any comments or any questions. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, PS, and thank you for briefing us on the activities that you're expecting in your heads for next year. Brief, there don't seem to be any information on the non-appropriated provision. I think you do have.
Get me photocopy.
Secretary?
Yeah, Secretary.
Go photocopy.
While Chair, with your indulgence, while waiting for the photocopy of the paper,
At the back of the development budget is something to the tune of about 117 million.
Okay.
That's the non-appropriated provision. But I did ask you, what can you just comment on the initial comment that I made about there seems to be climate change related kind of a program in other ministries.
Thank you.
What do you think about that arrangement, or are you part of the oversight management of the implementation of those programs, like for instance in provincial government? What was it yesterday with fisheries? Quite a sizable amount. What's your role in this whole thing, PS?
Thank you, Chair. I think it's because climate change is a cross-cutting issue. Yeah? So when we talk about the sectors, there are a lot of different sectors that are affected by climate change. For example, you mentioned the provincial government and the various climate change projects that goes through the ministry, and also a lot of the projects with Ministry of Agriculture as well. And if that sector, activities that are climate related, the ministry also part of those projects as an implementing partner with the line ministries. But because if we focus on food security, then we would like to share the implementation with the Ministry of Agriculture. For instance, we have a national project coordination unit which which is responsible for also coordination between ministries, not only the ministries, but there are also NGOs which are also implementing climate change and also disaster-related projects. For example, Save the Children, the big project which is now Solcast. So that's the strategy that the ministry is, applying. And from my remarks, I've also mentioned the National Adaptation Plan. If you can remember, during your time, we have the NAPA. So that NAPA have already expired, and now probably priorities may change. So now we have launched the inception for the NAP, National Adaptation Plan. So hopefully that the NAP will also provide, strengthen the coordination between whoever have for doing work or country, especially through climate change. And then there are also other interventions through disaster, which other donors are also doing a lot of work with communities, but also in partnership with the ministry.
There's one question I would like to ask him, Director of Environment. Under the Environment Act, it is a requirement. It's a prescribed requirement that, I think every 3 years we should produce the environment report. Have you been doing that, or? Pick up the mic, yeah.
Thank you, Chair, for that. Yes, the latest we have, HEMLO 2019, and we've been working on practically for 3 years in terms of trends and so forth. I think at the time if I ask him data law sectors where would look after them different area law environment blame I'm a little bit slow because the data I'm slow for coming. So we are now working on the next version, and hopefully we intend for finalizing this year, but I think we cannot complete it this year, so hopefully next year we should produce the next state of environment report.
So situation local region member about thingy man telling them TSF lo there telling storage facility embargo totally dismantled no this time was that under your permission that it has to be done like that, or?
Thank you, Chair. So currently we are ongoing monitoring on the project. There's some changes been made to the when the new company have come in here. The operations where tailings dams have used or some purpose plan have changed a little bit because the method have been used by a company this time a little bit different now. Or using flotation as well as where a lot of sedimentation is coming now from processing plant here and him end up inside tailings here. So currently, current application blocketa with mifala for lulukulohem for discharge, but there's also the other current too one for a new tailing dam low site processing plant before discharging or to discharge from that plant. So yes, we are monitoring. Currently, we are not giving any discharge license yet until it fulfilling the requirements. But our team are doing ongoing monitoring law, TSF and TAPIA. This change in the method of mining happened this time, so it is a matter for us with him, the Ministry of Mines for Lulukutlohem and taken with him company law operation block at time.
So, what now the changes here? I mean, the initial one was a retained water system because of the processing we ought to do him on top.
Yes.
Now it's basically every sentiment here, him just keep upload there no more and
currently, like osmotic flotation method, yeah, they are producing a lot of sediments, which some of them also end up to inside law tailings here, which I think defeat him a little bit the actual the original purpose where the previous companies are using daily for him. So we are I think him for both ministry for Lukut lo hem law.
So in your assessment, what are the risks? Which one I am the higher the risk, in terms of spillage into the to the river here? Itapona people I mean, which one I am got him higher risk? The one right now or the previous one or?
So like the current method of using this time, not really using too much this cyanide where previous companies or the using yeah. And so flotation and rocket a little bit low the other side or using very minimal cyanide, but for arsenic I think now we will do collection law samples lo him and we will send him overseas for verifying. So I think the method used this time in terms of chemicals like
cyanide. You because I think a lot of public am interested to much explanation of this one.
So yeah, there's a new plant with the pin building, and we will yet for giving Moketa discharge license for discharge into the environment. There's some changes to their plan. Now kita discharge block by him no longer go into Kuara, and not the previous big river where you see me. It is now diverted into Kuara stream, one fella stream where him come just below the TSF and then him go into Tinahulu. So we are requesting from them to know the dynamics around those river systems, and because from flow rate, flow river and all those now, by me fala putum what now, time if I give him discharge license, then by me fala putum at what rate they should be discharging from. Also giving in consideration of what is the production, I mean, company and product and the amount of waste that are coming from the plant. This is to ensure that any wastewater going into those streams, him sabe dilute Kasim level where time him go out. Hopefully, I'm still safe for people blame me.
Okay. Any other question, Law?
Yeah. So I mean, if they're using new stream for polluted, I mean, why don't use the already polluted river? Pollute finish, you go bridge low down here, look him go. I mean.
Yeah, so we've raised the same question with the company in terms of diverting. I think it's to do with the new plant where all the building here. I think him quite far from place where the previous processing plant within the TSF had been using. So building one for a new dam low site Blohem. I think that's why they've decided for go into the Quara stream.
So what will happen to the initial TSF here? Eventually it's going to be rehabilitated in some place?
I think now what by him happened, because there's a lot of sediment to him settled inside law that fella all the TSF where company been using.
So you will have, I think, going to be some very challenging situation to handle you this time, to discharging water and then let that place rehabilitated. Yeah? Is that something that you foresee, or?
Yeah, we are working closely with the company in terms of the efficiency of the what they are doing, but they are undergoing a lot of changes, which I'm sure that the Ministry of Mines are aware of him too, where they'll, in terms of those waste, okay, to try for finding one for a new dam inside law, just underneath law, okay, the pits, where probably him by go to inside law stream, where just below that the Win-Win company have been operate law him. So there's a lot of changes happen up there, and we are closely monitoring those changes where happen in local range.
Well,
you resourced enough to be able to continue adequate levels of monitoring? Or?
In terms of mining activities that are happening throughout the country, not only local ridge, I think we are quite understaffed, but OSMPS we will manage for getting one officer on board where I'm based Lo Isabel, where I'm usually easy for move there. We are looking forward to get one for Joyson, because I think Tufalena a little bit far from Honiara, where we need to really get our presence there for twin monitoring look at the mining. So we are trying best to get especially resource people on board. Logistically, I think we are still struggling in terms of financial resources that are available to us. Hopefully, we will try best for.
Renault, you have people there?
No, we are yet to contact monitoring law Renault. So hopefully next year in our monitoring plans program by Mifasut able for Kasim Renault.
It will just come back a big mighty stockpile. They're not almost stockpile sit down. We're just concerned that this is a matter we raised with productive so-called ministries here. Of course, mining's been identified as it's on the cusp of taking off. So it's one thing to invest in it, then it's the other to balance it with the environmental concerns to make sure that that is both sustainable environmentally. And so these two need to work in tandem. Yeah. But Miluluklo recurrent budget blow you for layer. That's not the case at all. It's showing a case of almost a little bit bordering on neglect. Yeah? You will be very passive. You'll be reacting. If there's an environmental problem, you react or go, rather than proactive and making sure upfront that there's compliance. And once looking something almost getting out of hand, you raise him within companies. So companies are more compliant rather than taking risks and thinking they can get away with it. Behavior when happened logging before, you may worry that I migrate, same behavior migrate over to this whole sector. So environment, you must careful. This is a concern. When I looked at your recurrent, that was the first thing that me concerned him.
Together with the State of the Environment report that has been delayed since 2019, yeah. I mean, the law provides for 3 years no more. Director, for you to lag behind in breach of the law, yeah. This is not good for our people, to get a good tracking. So how we are investing our money to keep a watch on the situation of our environment. And this is where a lot of this risk can be picked from. And as what leader M Talem that, provisional budget that's more or even nothing at all, I think. How will we confront the situation if surely the first thing that everyone, in the mining sector will always pick on is the environmental issue. This has been the trend. And look at Bawanville, Oktedi, Ogera, Msimsim, they not try to open him this time, but still trouble it. It's all about environmental issues and social issues. So we are just basically urging you that, we need to do something. And I don't think that, we have taken the responsibility to reflect that in the way that we are pushing our bids in next year's budget. Yeah. Especially in a sector that, we are putting our hope to shoulder, the burden that is going to be, it's going to be starting next year, will be a real thing for the country. With another sector down, we are putting on mining. But then, what if this risk can be surface in future? Basically, by underwriting no more the benefits that we are expecting from this sector,
Yeah, I mean, the good example is oil spill or Renole.
Renole.
Mitwal golo kanu, Kangaba Bay, mitwal golo place oil spill. Or to go example, or to holem come clam sell oil inside life one by pretty much wiped out. And the reef is just dead. I mean, it's just all brown and dead. So one oil spill wipes out an entire ecosystem. The magnitude of that loss, we will never recover. So if we are being reactive, this is the kind of thing we will expect here. They will think they can get away with it. And so far, they've been getting away with it. There's no accountability for oil spill here, Kasim, this time. So we're really taking some big risks and hoping, praying that nothing happens. Well, we know the kinds of operators in these mining activity, you miss our finish here. So we are hoping in vain, I think, that something was no happen here. It's a vain hope. We do need to be proactive. Me Barrow expect him budget level to be triple what it was this year to enable you, especially the environment part here, to enable you to have a really proactive spear or end. So you are dictating terms in terms of making sure environmental impact him. We're not saying stop all these things, no, but we're saying do it sustainably, do it responsibly. Very important. Money, I'm crying, Miss November. I'm talking about cry lo kanuna. I'm looking review. You mean Manorovian will look coral and nice and blue and all seven. Sorry to much.
It seems both of you. Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, coming back to the point very seriously, I mean, here we are putting our hope on this sector. We need to balance it where the risk can be higher, I hope you all understand this one. If we are careless about the environmental risk part here, please don't. I mean, there are examples around that in Baraba basically Hollenberg all the economies here. And what a 1W Milo PNG number.
Yeah.
It's a good example.
Yeah.
The first platform that people are going to resort to is the environmental issue. So, we don't ask him what a question here. Just basically, for me to really, in a way, get ourselves prepared on a higher risk side, where we put our hope on. Yeah. Because the bulk of the hope that we have in this fiscal strategy here, mining here, the mining sector, it's going to lift everything. Next year's profit long or corporate tax profit here, almost about what? 60% of the projection there, it's a mining profit here. I think the super profit no come inside. But the rates have gone up. And go up locally, will go. Yeah. I mean, the kind of development that is going up there, I think for me to say that, there is a lesser use of application of cyanide. Yeah. That's what they are doing right now, yeah? It's much lesser, yeah? But I think, well, you assess him come, where, is that why you may just keep him very quiet because there is a lesser use of cyanide? The operation is quite different, yeah? But I think they are going to put up a processing plant up there. I think only the more the government go up, yeah? And this promise of some 7 billion revenue in the first year, and it's going to build up here. And just imagine if in a situation like Osem Loreno Lem come up in Emlo here, yeah? It's quite efficient for people, with this mining environmental watch organizations around here. Their lands are already here. Yeah? They are getting prepared already. Yeah? Just be prepared for that. So, PS, I think you need to really invest in some resources into the state of the environment. That's, the requirement of the law, but the second thing is really to get the director himself, better prepared for anything. I was going to ask you about this class action, one in a civil case that the AG is working on, law environment issues law, where law. What's your view on it that, the minister kept pushing into the bunker protocol, which is a different thing altogether. This is all about testing our own law here, the environmental law. I'm saying I'm wrong now. And where we need to apply the law, there one was me disappointed law man. You may turn around no more and say that, oh, this law is weak. But we have never tested it. I mean, there are a few cases silo logging that has been successfully prosecuted in Isabel, for instance. And I think for him just to generally say no more, assume him no more that it's so weak. But how do we know that it is weak without testing it? We need a case separate. No need for the law itself. You need for apply in the country. So we start it off here. Once we get a decision in our favor, in our own jurisdiction, then find a way how we are going to apply it with other jurisdictions. I think that's the way government should operate here. No turn around no more and maybe, I think people zip me up too, yeah? Fish and chips come inside and all of that. So you be quiet no more and then allow that situation to go on. But I think the real risk in the mining sector, in relation to environment, is going to be real here. So we need to keep a watch on that. I want a reaction from both of you, PS and please.
Thank you,
Chair. First and then Director Bai.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, with regards to monitoring, we admit him that the resources are not enough, especially, and also the practice of using those companies to fund monitoring. I think that needs to immediate solution too. But then from the budget, as you rightly say, him no also allow ministry or in division for also doing continuous monitoring too. But me like Asurem committee, that even with that limited resources, priority now for monitoring, we should focus on mining given the increase in the mining activities around local.
But I mean, did your bid take that approach? You all bid go for higher amount, then finance not cut them, or you did not even bid for an increase in environmental monitoring?
No.
Yeah, this is,
We were not giving any. We were instructed that there was no enough ceiling room
For everyone, So baseline no more.
Yes, sir.
baseline now. So
The increase here, so environment.
is
Baseline for every or something, all right, but environment here now.
that's true. And a lot of these new developments will also need the safeguards law compliance. Yeah? But as you may look in law budget, but having said that, by no give up. We'll try and find other options there. But this one option of seeking funding from company and for doing monitoring, I think need to be stopped.
No, you will not doing that one.
Yeah.
I think you should stop that one. Because you all know that. By a compromising situation, come on. So our recommendation is that we need to stop that, and then we will recommend that some new provision need to be put into this. If we will have a space to retain our report to cabinet in order to make them changes. That would be good. That's why BAMIFAL support him now. The special adjournment on the 24th to the 1st, so that over the weekend we can complete our recommendation, and then we will forward it to cabinet. And we will feature your obligation under the law as one very, very important priority. Otherwise, we tell him all the hope and benefits that we are all projecting law mining sector here will be gone. It will be swallowed by these environmental issues here.
And how much would that be? We will recommend them. How much do you need additional to provide adequate, robust monitoring?
And the state of the environment report as well too, because that is very important. That is the requirement, the state of the environment that will feature, all this risk here.
Thank you, Chair. Let me just add to what the PS has said, and especially the reality on the ground with them division in trying to handle all the not only mining, but there's also other developments where we will deal with them, where officers work across different sectors as well as different environment cross-cutting issues that we will have to deal with them. In terms of capacity, we are really handicapped a little bit low number of officers. We're currently putting pits, and thank you to the hard work, our hardworking admin office. We are currently we should have some more training the team for continue with them the environment activities. In terms of accessing funding, it's a challenge for me. For this year, we will request him funding around first or second quarter for continue with him at quarterly monitoring. We will just take him normal October, where I think 16 to 18 now offices of the JESCO law Isabel and special for team monitoring law there. Law co-reach him ongoing. So I think those two, in terms of availability of funding, still remain challenge, and I recommend that if there's a set aside funding where we can easily access him for time for monitoring, with me go on site and co-monitoring the mining, especially, which is also we are fully aware that priority now for MIFAL and even the country for monitoring good the development and ensure compliance. In terms of the legality, we are working very hard with bill, the environment bill, where I'm still with AG we are now finalizing that bill with some current sample good provision law there to ensure that compliance and penalties for non-compliance good for penalizing other companies. So that one too, me for work very hard lohem. So I think we have a monitoring framework in place, but the challenge I see now, I'm really with availability of offices or number of offices available for code monitoring, as well as the funding as well.
Okay, I mean, we understand that part, but I think that still haven't. We want to help you. Yeah, you were expressing something that maybe finance haven't seen the importance of that part. So we want to help you. So coming back to the question that leader Amy asked him, how much did you bid for? Blow the director's responsibility under the law. How much did you bid? Baseline number.
Yeah, baseline number.
Well, I think you need to impress on your admin. You're not failure. You need to. We are going to open this space for you to tell us how much now you think. If you haven't thought about that, go back then it will in the next 6 or 7 hours. Well, by the end of Friday, bring that recommendation here. What are the human resources that you need? Because in our report, we are going to say to you that you stop using other companies to pay for your expenses. That is a gross neglect to you, part below it. I mean, if it goes into the under the very scrutinized application belong public service law, but wrong too much, Oh no any way by me save him now that one. Wrong no. Popular wrong more, but about 100 plus wrong now, Yeah, huh? Yeah. So we want to recommend you to do this because I hope that you understand him how. Therefore, the way that the mining sector, can build a greater hope for our country going forward here. But with the way that we are neglecting the watch and the monitoring of the environmental issues here, man. I mean, look at the situation, Loreno. Nobody were thinking that there's going to be the environmental spillage law there, but it did happen. They ran away. We are left with something where even right now, we don't know how now we can go about, compensating our own environment, people, Loreno, and everyone. What more? The territory shipment where all the money allowed for go more free zero here. So let's get this right, PS, get back, put your requirements, and including human and financial resources too, because that's what we are going to recommend. And if changes has to be made, or government can find other ways, for resourcing now. So, director, to do their part the same. Any other issues? More, this will legal action law, environmental issue law, where? Oil spillage law there. So we are basically just dropping it, leaving Muslim no more, or how? Can you confirm to the committee?
Thank you, Chair. I think that case was taken up by the AG, so AG now take lead law. That for the case.
But the main witness is you, the Director of Environment.
Yes, so
we provide the evidence. You are the main named, and AG is basically acting on your behalf here. You are the director. Every power here for prosecute here, or you see that I'm wrong here. It is the director, not the AG. It's the director that gave the consent in the first place.
So, sorry, Chair. The reports and all those were required by my division where AG requested him. We actually produced him report, And the second report with him, support with him Mosaid, with the technical support, it was also produced. And all those reports, I'm with him, keep him with him each.
Oh, so you were assisted by OSAID, is it?
Yeah, in terms of monitoring, for the second monitoring law, that for the site where OSPLM happened.
So, what's your suspicion? Is it that, the Office of the Auditor General is sleeping on it or dragging their feet? Huh?
Attorney General.
Attorney General.
My Office of the General. Oh, yeah.
You said Auditor General.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. The Office of the Attorney General. You think that, what's your...
I think they've
because it's been taking too long. I mean, me I ask him look, what parliament? Me I ask him last year, this year. What's your? I mean, surely, I mean, you may one should take 10 for Goloreno and find him out. These two guys are real witness belong here. Leader and South New Georgia. I think next time by Intual go, small mala. Oh.
Sample bird Lucy lo there since spill. So I mean garam
Man.
what the effects were me no understand them good too, but sample bird loose, sample plant too, I would say. No look minimum. But definitely no more clams. And fishing the whole man Kanga Bay, no Rawa Bay man. Mighty one, eh? Only fishing the whole bay now. So the real implication, consequences.
And if you may allow situation lo Kangawa ya hem osem Kangawa
Kangawa.
Kangawa. Hari osem lo name lo choice le. Hey.
What level hop up?
Okay. So, hey. That situation, Loreno, we just allow it to be just like that. Man. And operators here are even more, what now by me say? So, non-compliant one, no? Or the issues like that. Practice elsewhere in the world, in Africa, everywhere. Or the same. So, but I think here the risk is much higher because of the population down the Metapona, and doing about 6,000 to 7,000 people here. In a class action from Bogota, man. So, please now it will update him a little bit normal that so that we can reflect it in the as issues that we need to learn from, yeah. Especially on this front, yeah. And anything more, members, you want to ask?
Yeah, I just wanted to raise two issues again. Mitwal goes lip come low lake here. When it jump inside lake here, swim very narrow. So two issues now to raising with him Mitwal there, low villages around the lake. One is the World Heritage listing, UNESCO. Yeah, they have no problem with the listing. They're not benefiting from it. So me, well, knows Garem answer for something here too. The other concern they raised was that some groups were going around promoting protected area. I would say, my heritage listing here, protecting whole area, no, me wala agar no ma. When our protected area, something more comes. So we're not sure who was pushing that, but so they're asking, what's in it for them? I mean, apart from the environmental protections and also. So perhaps you could inform the committee what's going on with those two. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Leader. Just on the listing and probably the expectation of the committee in terms of what is there for them. Interestingly, law that for la listing law that site come well before even the division of the ministry. Yeah, and I used to start with them. I think UNESCO commission under the Ministry of Education. So for us, in terms of osemot conservation work away before we can declare your site, I think it has to go a lot with a lot of awareness within people and ensure that they understand what they are going in for. Law, case law, the World Heritage listing, but when the division is there, we are aware that this one is already listed and we just need to support. I think there's a number of support been given to the site, the committee over the years. Even when the honourable chair was the minister of the ministry, I think provide him a lot of support there. So that's an ongoing challenge for those who are at the reside law site. Law 2017, I think there was a round table meeting held between the different responsible ministries as well as the committee to come up with an actual plan for how Oketa Sabe chip in terms of providing support towards communities where Oketa on site as a way of sustaining but also protecting the World Heritage. Currently, we are still, a good number of our projects are doing work on the site, including the GF6 project we have implemented through Law Ministry. There's an ongoing program for providing support to the communities. I know that there's a committee in place for managing every on-site programs block, including like if we're fully aware, conservation in terms of country blaming, it has to come with complementary support or livelihood support for the communities blaming. So we are trying our best through those projects for at least providing support for the communities blaming Law Lake. In terms of protected area program, because of our Protected Areas Act 2010, which the Honourable Minister himself passed him, two one for option we will give him whether other like for go into the legal protection of the site or other leave him one for a listed site where national level, we're not sure which law now, unless he come up with one for a World Heritage law for protecting that site or even other additional sites that will be declared in the country or some World Heritage sites. So we are giving them an option of protected area. Probably my officers, because they've been on there for over the years, they might be giving them that option too if they wish to declare, protecting that area. And the Law Protected Areas Act, where other sites throughout law countries are not been protecting, before protecting.
So if they move to that, then they can come off the World Heritage listing?
Or they can still keep it.
Or keep both?
Yeah.
Both.
That one by have no stripping of the World Heritage. It's probably a legal backing for that site.
That's right.
But there has to be a proper management plan in place in terms of a World Heritage site and the legal protection where Baham take him under.
The impression we got was, Mane really no interest in World Heritage listing. It's meaningless to them. They're getting nothing out of it. So a protected area, there could be, it's associated with some
national priorities.
Yes, government back him a little bit to help him out. I think by meaningful look at. Otherwise, so it's when you will penalize him, then what in our place, you are logging live, you are mining live, So I think it's a legitimate question that needs to be
good point.
Yeah, thought about.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Director, you want to respond to that?
Yes, so yeah, definitely like in terms of the legal protection, from our experience, how I work well, it really depend on what now IMI consulting people believe me or they like him. If they want the legal protection, I think we'll have to assist them along that line where we go to the extent of legal protection under Law Protected Areas Act. So it's something probably we have to consult and verify from Oketa too, that committee blocketa or representatives blocketa, the other law one side to go into that. Yeah.
I mean, that's one aspect. One aspect is if you declare protected site, depending on nature of it, the forest or whatever you're preserving, you could get benefits there's some carbon sequestration and so forth. So that's obvious. But then there's an all of government perspective to it. It's a beautiful lake. It's the largest in this part of the world. And beautiful bird life. Since the spill, actually, bird life here may diminish for good. We were there before the spill also, so it was noticeable, even to an outsider. But then, obviously, tourism is the big one. The draw card there is go to the lake and have a real unique experience. For that, of course, you need some support in tourism. Road here must improve, airport here must improve, all that kind of stuff. So it's an all-of-government response to it and say, okay, well, what's the benefit having this World Heritage listing or perhaps what are protected areas here? And then all-of-government responds rather than just from an environmental perspective. Even also, I think we're incentivizing communities.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
I think that's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great approach.
Yeah. I make reference to 2017 roundtable where we Holem Law Honor Hotel. I think in outline in Kutia, the whole of government, what now infrastructure, what now fisheries in terms of agriculture should be doing. So there's something in place where I think we just have to go back to Lohemo and try and revive him with the provincial government, Lauren Bell, and the partners who are doing work within the area.
So 17 now, you've all doing that one?
Yes, I can remember them round table in 2017, yeah.
And then what happened afterwards?
There's not a very good follow-up and dedicated budget from probably the ministries to follow up on what we've been tasked under Noketa various allocation to provide team support for various needs where and some of them now I think you mentioned them in terms of better time to access law road and tourism and all those stuff.
What's the population? 1,000?
Oh, maybe
400?
4,000.
4,000?
But maybe give him 17 outcomes document 2017 one with those estimates. That way we could maybe in our recommendation reignite this whole thing and say government will look more and try and give it some priority. Obviously you can't do everything all at once, but start somewhere and slowly address it. It's a beautiful place, Manusem Deputy Secretary Corporate every weekend I'm going. It's beautiful. You just hear him no more soundboard birds no more.
Bird no more.
Small Malay want to chip in something, so yeah, please. What is it?
Thank you. Tuvala golo. Dia me go first time lo tuvala ya. Oh, like. But
You are in bed or?
birds taka. But go look at them bird me. I mean, lake now. No, the point that I'd like to make along this whole issue where leader and director to interact along him. My impression is that both from the provincial secretary that time, this was in 2018, and other landowners, and especially those who advocate for environmental issues like other concerned, yeah. What no garam what other looking also government me nothing support him with no more. So go what where like for other some concern for environment, I would say cut them tree and no. So I'm now logging or divided them. They see us as one ministry going one way and longo, especially logging and mining, yeah. Looking also ministry, I don't know if I think if I'll give him what a development consent and also, so I'm looking at government, you will support him no more, so I'm important concern for you, talk strong. Also, what I look him also, you government, no matter how me wrong something, you may go ahead with them no because Seleno, in their mind, what thing him no more. I think over the man government or my ministry, the company, we need more over. So we have no concern about over the issues we will raise with them right now. So go time, this will oil spill over and also. I took a lot of work and talk and also lawyer. Chairman,
Yes.
I should be in bed.
Yeah. Take your time, please.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I mean, drink first time. So Nara, apart from this oil spill and also now, there is another issue when come up in this food security.
Sure.
I didn't know this until me Kasim Lo there. Me go follow, drive follow road, go down low lake here, and there's holes everywhere. But hole say what mining lo him yeah. It occurred to me after conversation with them, everyone follow road there, that every place what digging hole, every place what walk him garden lo him no yeah. Because Reynolds is probably 90% rock no more.
Exactly.
So all the little spots were like ambiguous in this room. I'm also walking garden line. Chairman Mino Parasa, what the situation is now in terms of security for them. But time we go look him here. And Mino look him every hole here. But what's say inside bush full up, no full up, hope stuck up. Ground you know, take him lo him. Take him go to China or someplace.
Oh.
That's the soil I'll take him. So I'm just wondering whether your ministry, anyone is or has dealt with this issue. Maybe you will by deal with them, your colleagues or other relevant ministries like agriculture, maybe to address the issue of food security or whether as a result of this mining activity. So, like, Chair, when we concern long him and this all legal case here. So I want to talk about taking company law. What about the interim company when you know when I'm stopped now, I'm happy. So interest me law that one too. Where are we in supporting those communities concerned with them this whole issue of food security? Because meeting him a good chunk of the island, it might have been affected. I don't have any data. I was discussing with them community leaders. That one no more. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Very excellent point.
Hole or pit?
Pit. Hole or pit?
Oh, yeah.
Kami lang ko sabi whether
Okay, what the hole here, say what dig him low, what excavator, so you know, kind of small pit where you dig him low spit.
Yeah.
The hole here, if you go inside there, by what man look you small down there.
But mine pit.
I mean, the excavator, not digging.
This handle of food security way.
Yeah, I'm not concerned.
What do you think about it?
Thank you, honorable member, on those issues. I suspect that some of those areas, like some follow programs we follow, we tend to prioritize him now. This follow World Heritage area, but probably those sites where I'm outside were involved inside law mining, where mining pits digging law from operations. Yeah, so I think that's very important too in terms of our responsibility in terms of rehabilitation law at the sites. Yeah. Where previous mining, I think if the left already or one follower still operate there, we might have to find out and see if we can enforce in their rehabilitation law at the sites. Yeah. Sure. Once if it's outside law, this will World Heritage area, I think it's something we have need team enforcement to ensure that the places here have recovered so that gardening and all those by him still happen. But in terms of the programs, I think that's a very important concern for with the other sectors where we work together, especially the Ministry of Agriculture, and even under the projects where we will see how best by support in terms of.
So Chairman, on what matters also, because these are very, very technical areas, silo spill or oil spill and how to rehabilitate him and all. They take a long time and big budgets and all too. Same with them. This one, what a whole year. Minosa wena ba you will take him ground for him. What a big hole to us.
Short ground na go
Yeah, ground na go.
China or Golo?
Yeah, I think China. Yeah. So, like maybe director, you might inform me when I ask him whether what not eating blockade for rehabilitation also talemia. What are you planning to do or anything being planned for? Because these are huge holes over the whole Numa.
I mean, surely him fall under the view blow director. I mean, how do you rehabilitate him now, all this environment that got damaged here? The state, if suppose you may take him over the treatment, has got the benefit out of it. Number two?
Yeah. Zero.
Well, so no more benefit lo me. Ground me go emotion. But that
yeah, but Minister, you director, do you have any rehabilitation plan in place for Reno?
Yeah.
Thank you. So, like most of the developments, like mining, before or take a mining lease and even consent, they have a rehabilitation plan in place, which I think company should be held accountable for him if a proper bond company can pay my head for twin rehabilitation. Look at the sites here. So some follow mining will probably happen finish here. May not release because under law, even Environment Act, no even require those upfront payment once company leave, and then we can have the funding available to actually to the rehabilitation local area.
But surely you have the responsibility under the Environment Act for you that you can invoke him and require him over the relevant parties, to do some kind of a rehabilitation. Because, if our citizen have tenara and with our protection, that law, very minimum, but at least we must show to them that, we have done something for them. So what do you think? I mean,
so I think the director is saying inside long current legislation, we don't have any requirements.
The bond.
The operating companies to pay a bond towards any rehabilitation.
But they do under the mining. Yeah, pull them down. I think the mining they do.
Mining they do. Okay.
Yes, and for what it's worth, the proposed environment bill currently before AG Chambers has closed law, environment bond.
Yeah, we know that is going to come, but we are dealing with a problem that is still around. That's why we are trying to find a way out law. Director of Environment and PS, what number by me doing? Because, situation law, the group Yumi zero tax more, shipment not paid, spillage law there, biggie hole law there, food security. Is there any way that we can help up with this situation long or non-appropriated allocation by UPS? That was about Kakarai Osemi.
Big Tarobalus too.
Huh?
Nice big Tarobal.
Yeah, I'm concentrated law.
I mean, we have very support law there. What now Australian income like quite huge, 78 million, 3 million, 2 million. What's your understanding on these PS? Non-appropriated.
Non-appropriated.
For what here? I mean, can we recommend something, to, and one of which is, saying what me thinking too, and your thinking around it, that which I think both of you are on the same wavelength, and that is, you mean, first of all, declare him now under protected areas legislation, the lake here. And then the protected areas legislation, you must resource him too. Because that was the whole intention here. There was special fund that will attract funding from donor government and the donor partners, yeah? Motion. So that's the first thing that I think you may need for doing law there. And then you have to deal with, why did you grant the consent to complement him now, the mining license here issued by the Director of Mines, yeah? Why did you agree in the first place that, that the old man consent here and find no more for the mining license here to be issued to those companies? So that part of the obligation now, him still outstanding. But I don't think it will die out here. Environmental issues will never ever pop up again in future. So I think we need to do something, to help him out, the situation, Yumilo there, Reynolds. How many times now all of you have visited Reynolds? Me once, no more, but some of you, I think 10 times here. Huh? Yeah. So I think something like that, if you can go back and then you and director can come up with some kind of a recommendation, how can we do it, and then feature it in our report, yeah? Which by questions here, I am major every now and then. Please, PS.
Thank you, Chair. I think we will take note of every comments and recommendations from committee, as just like also for ADIM, that for the new, especially with upcoming new project initiatives, that rather than only looking at the climate change aspect law developments, we will also need for integrate them to all these aspects together, because all these things add up to the impacts normally, whether it's the environment or heavy rainfall or whatever, climate change. It will also, come up at the end of the day, impact environment. So there are opportunities which ministries have also, look at, especially during the project designs, and there are new funding opportunities that are coming up, which, this can be also integrated into that, rather than just looking at the climate change aspect of it, but, do a holistic approach.
Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm asking piece numero to non-appropriate to Australia for
It's Malay.
Malaita. What are that one for?
You know where to, yeah? Honorable?
I mean, up here again, so me like for abuse from 2024 to 2027.
Yes, 24 to 27, yeah.
That's for the allocation.
I need to give him a, let's see, from a project coordination unit for if there is any other information law that for a non-appropriated line.
So, Hemlo development budget.
Development budget.
Right at the back. Development budget, yeah. Secretary, can you give a copy of the development budget? Right at the back, Golongo. And officer, you can come in front and then come to front mic here. No, development budget na mila game. We told give him come along, please. You have this here.
Yeah, Chair, me ask you no because I think we have tried our best long time now for asking ministry for. So time me looking at them, me say, oh, I think I must Australia, I think like for fund him now, it's support for rehabilitate him to an island law, Koyan Silayana. So that's why me ask him. That's what I'm a chance. I mean, we know every island's blame affected finishing. The Tufala Island are really affected this time. I mean, so if I'm true that for support him to island, and then me very happy for good chairman. That's why me like for ministry for explaining them. I know that finding here by him Wakai.
Because I'm using everything, yeah.
Before just get him copy,
Honorable member, can they go and then give some notes to us? But I think it's good for the benefit of the public audience, Blayumi, and people who have been affected with climate change. Please, can you find some explanation of this one?
Chair, let me find them more information on this one, and then come back to committee with them the recommendations that Chair also suggested.
Surely, Officer Blayu, Technical Officer Blayu, they have some. You got him some understanding law Australia's assistance to.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, for the program. Actually, first time let me for look into, but what I can say here is that community-led climate resilience and conservation in East Malaita, supported by Australia, and more information and detailed recommendation by discuss further with Climate Change Division and providing Kamlo PAC. Thank you.
But you know anything about?
Yeah, me no actually looking at document, but this one, me no.
Might be with them climate change division, but most law COP law Brasilia at the moment, so they might be aware of this.
Me look for release entry, but me no look inside. Don't go assess him.
CRM no that one. Blow December come here, I think.
Yeah.
The Missouri.
No, Chair, no more me. Thank him. Yes, and obviously blame if to find outcome. If I'm through for Australia, but for funding that one, then I'm happy to mass. Because that is what me really look forward for him for support climate change for what affected the low-lying islands. Believe me, were really affected by climate change. So if that funding should be given to people like Malaita, I would really happy, Chairman. Appreciated that funding from Australia. But I wait for the report from.
Sure.
Huh? Small Malta?
You know how to
No, I haven't said budget finish. So.
And then also the situation that you have described about Renole and Lida. If the next, the third line program below Australia, the Solomon Humanitarian and Disaster Resilience Program. If that, you can think around that one, and then look law, situation law, food security, disaster law, Renole. If there is space for you all to come up with a programming on this, for detail him out, don't forget about the situation law, Loreno. And of course, any new bid where director might come up with to be able to do further monitoring law there and other parts of mining in child law country, bring those submission law by Friday, still Friday. And then update him a little bit normal on case here. The oil spillage case law, right? Because suppose there will be a very sad story for you. So, Sergi, thank you so much for your engagement with the and your team, with the committee. We look forward to any written submission that you give him come followed by Thursday or Friday, so that we can incorporate it in our report. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you so much for appearing before the committee. Thank you.
Yeah, and committee members.